We're here and I'll go to the website. So this is our website. It might be a little bit small to read, but that's not an issue. If you somewhere during the presentation have issues with technical stuff, then first shut down Mozilla Hubs if you're inside Mozilla Hubs, and don't worry about screen capturing devices or something. This is the slides are available to you. So I'll go to the slides. On this website, you see on the top right navigation bar, and I'll go to workshop 01. When you're in workshop 01, you'll see at first a series of slides. I'll go to that slides, and this should be quite visible for you. So again, this project is co-funded by the European Union, and in short, the FICA acronym. Some of you might heard that Daniel and David are actually at a coffee shop, and they're having a coffee break, which is perfect for this project because it's related with having a coffee break. A coffee break is not just drinking a beverage, but also in a social institution, a place, a moment where co-workers and management can have an informal meeting. And often it takes place in a designated room. So FICA friendly means or stands for user friendly, easy. It should be interactive and facilitate and induce interactivity. It's much more immersive than the Teams meeting we're actually in. For me, I'm now looking at a bunch of circles and they don't interact with me, but soon we'll meet in virtual reality, and there I can have a stage experience where I see moving avatars. The wink is there because we want the project to be associated with informal meetings, with serendipity, with chance meetings. Cloud, or the C stands for cloud computing, so you don't need to do any kind of local installation, and it's an alternative to the virtual reality. Of course, the virtual reality is still much more immersive and real and valuable, but okay, this is an alternative. Step one, I'll give you a moment, maybe a minute or two. I'll talk slowly. You need to keep at hand the following items. So while I'm talking, please take action and see that you have a working email address. At some point, you will need to log in with an email address, and Mozilla Hubs will instantly send you an activating email, or a confirmation mail. And you have to click that confirmation mail. If you do not, time will not be extended, and you won't get extra functionality. Be assured that it's only a login, so you're not going to create an account. Mozilla will not send you any other crap. It's just limited to that one confirmation mail. So make sure you have a working email address that you can instantly check. As soon as you have done that, find a nice picture or a PDF, preferably not too big in size. We're actually going to use this to place it as an object in the room. It's a nice example. Also, if you have a nice video clip you can share with us, maybe something from YouTube, maybe there's a music clip on YouTube that you like. See that you find that clip and keep the URL or the link to that clip. It's not necessary, but it's fun. The best experience would be that you use Mozilla Firefox as a browser. If you don't have it, that's not That's not a big issue. Chrome does handle it quite well. Also, Opera handles it quite well. For those amongst you that use an Apple machine, maybe you're on the Apple browser, Safari. There might be issues. I don't have any comments on that lately, but okay. With Apples, it's always something weird. For those of you working with a mouse, you're safe. For those of you working with a trackpad, it can be tricky in the beginning. I'm not used navigating in Mozilla Hubs using a trackpad. You'll have to experiment a little bit for yourself. We do have a link to Mozilla Hubs documents where you can find more tips and tricks on how to navigate and manipulate objects with the trackpad. Okay, and this slide is maybe the most important slide. You'll need to go to the Mozilla Hubs landing page. Now there is a shortcut to this. I refrained from giving you the shortcut because this is much more easy. Surf to the website hubs.mozilla.com. If you don't want to surf to that, it's quite easy. You just search for Mozilla Hubs. When you search to any search engine, you will find a link to https://hubs.mozilla.com. and you get on this landing page. This is what you actually see. Going back to the, here's the website. So as soon as you have if you have landed on the main page of Hubs Mozilla, then you scroll down to the bottom until you see a dock. You'll see two docks, but it's the second one. So if you look on this page, there is already a dock here, but that's not the one we want to search for. You'll just need to scroll downwards until you find this dock, this bad dock, looking for your old rooms. Visit the legacy hubs.mozilla.com site. When you click on that one, that's the place where we want to be. This is the place where we want to be. So I'll give you some time. So on the new page, let's not yet create a room. Just stick with me. We'll get to this page. Already here, there's a lot going on. And if we have time, we'll actually talk about the things that you can see here. Mind, I'm already signed in. So you see here on the right that I'm already signed in. And these is the buttons here are navigation buttons to different parts related with Mozilla Hubs. Okay. If I'm going too fast, if there are issues, then just activate your mic and talk to me, or use the chat or the Q&A. At this point, I don't see any comments, so I assume that everything is going well. Okay, I claimed that you don't need any technical background to get started with Mozilla Hubs, and I'm going to prove this. I want you all to click on this button, create a room. If you do so, Mozilla will actually create a URL, an address, and a room for you. Voila, I have already created a room. This is what you get to see. So you have clicked create a room, and now you'll be asked to join that room. So this is my room, you have yours. It's probably, well, I expect it to be looking just like my room. So just click on the button Join Room. Now what Mozilla Hubs does at this point is to check your audio settings, and it wants to have access to your microphone and speakers. I guess that's going to be okay because you're in a Teams meeting as well. So, but you're not talking to me right now. So, just click on Enter the Room. You can change these settings always. So it doesn't matter what you choose right now. Just click Enter Room. Now I am already inside the room. You can see that I'm already navigating in this room, but you might see different pop-ups. You might be asked for an avatar. So if you are asked for an avatar, which I don't have, it's useful that you share your proper name. So don't go for the random name that is suggested, but type in your own name. And you can quickly choose any kind of avatar that is presented to you. It isn't important at this point. You can always change your avatar afterwards. For now, it's not important, so just pick one. You'll see a huge collection, and you haven't seen the lot. I mean, there are quite a lot of avatars, and it's quite easy to create one yourself, even without technical background. So what is important at this point, I presume you're busy with typing in your name as the name of the avatar and choosing an avatar. But you have to realize that at this point, you have an address for your room. And I suggest you bookmark the URL. So on top of your browser, in the address bar, there is a URL that says https://hubs.mozilla.com/ and then a code. And that random code, that is something that you need to remember. So my suggestion is that you bookmark this page. So you keep that URL, and if something happens and you're thrown out or you have to close the browser, then you'll still have this address to your room. If not, you lose it, you can't find it back. The Ys, so after the unique code, you might see it here. This is the URL. I can copy the URL. Let's see if I can copy it. Quickly create a bullet. Oh, I didn't create a bullet. That doesn't matter. Okay. I thought I would be able to create a bullet. Oh, it's not that important, but you'll see that if you look at the URL, after the unique code, there is a random name. For me, it's upbeat accurate turf. For you, it's probably going to be something different. That's not important at the moment, and we can still change that. So I expect you to have bookmarked your page, your room, to say, because we're going to need that address to your room. That's actually it. You have a room. You have created the room. The scenario or the scene that is the background of your room, we can change. So take a moment to navigate through your room. The next slide, I'll talk to the next slide, and meanwhile try to navigate through your room just to find out what the functionality is, what you can do, how to navigate. I'll show you the slides. So the first functionality in Mozilla Hubs are these things to navigate, and you'll see that there are a series of buttons. If you want to have more information, so maybe you are using a trackpad instead of a mouse, you can use this website, https // hubs.mozilla.com/docs. And the document files, they contain quite some information, amongst them also the hubs control. Go there if you are not using a mouse. Maybe you can find these key combinations Q, W, W, that's a W, right? E, A, S, and D. You might find it weird that these are the buttons to either rotate left, right, or go forward or backward, or move to the left or to the right, but that's because they're based on a US keyboard. It's typical for everything game related. They're typically styled for a US keyboard. And I assume that most of you are not using a US keyboard. You can also use the cursor key. So on your keyboard, you have these keys usually located on the right. And you can use these keys to move forward and backward. Of course, if you are using a mouse, you can use the left button and the right button. The right button is to jump, and the left button is to look around. Now, the look around, notice the pointing dot. When you're looking at a room, I'll try to navigate my floating dot somewhere where the contrast is high. You'll see now the duck. I'm looking at the duck, and the moving dot or the floating dot, I'm moving it around the eye of the duck. So this dot, this floating dot, listens to what I do with my mouse. I'm moving my mouse around in circles, and this floating dot is actually following the mouse movement. As soon as I press the left button of my mouse, so I'm pressing the left button of my mouse, you can see that the dot is still moving around, but also my head, the camera of my avatar, which is located in the head of the avatar, is also looking around. You might I'm getting dizzy from this, so I'm going to stop doing this. And I can move to the right, just holding the left button of my mouse continuously. And you see that I'm looking around. I can look upwards to the sky, and I can look downwards to the floor. And whilst holding the left button of my mouse, I can press the up key or the up arrow key. Notice that we have these arrow keys on the right of your keyboard, and this key is the up key. So if I'm using the up key, I'm going forward. Using the backwards key or down key, I'm going backwards. Pressing right and I'm moving right. Pressing left and I'm moving left. And of course, I can combine all actions. I can move around with cursor keys, and I can also look at in a certain direction using my left button on my mouse. I don't see any comments or questions, so I assume that everything is working well. Okay, next step is you have these keys, you have a space bar. I'm going back to the room, and I'm looking at the tree. So you can do this wherever in the room, but only here, I think there are certain places where you can see this. I've pressed the space bar, and suddenly you have these floating icons in the air. When I move closer to the bench, like this is a bench, and you'll see that these are waypoints. It's called waypoints. Now, if you move your floating dot on top of a waypoint, on top of the logo that is floating in the air, you'll see that there is an avatar emerging. And when I click on that avatar, I've clicked on the avatar, and you see that immediately my avatar takes in the position of that waypoint. So I'm now sitting on the bench. Of course, I'm not really sitting on the bench. It's just my avatar is positioned quite near that bench. I can choose another waypoint like this one and click, and I'm there. I'm sitting on the bench. See? That's one way of doing things. Maybe I said that there is this the right button on your mouse. If you click the right button on your mouse, you'll see that instead of a floating dot, you'll see this green circle. This green circle, you can position it somewhere in the room. And if you then let go of the right mouse key, you'll actually jump to that location. See, I've jumped to the corner of this terrace. I can jump further to over there, like where we were before the duck. Voila, I've jumped to that location. Just play around with this. There's still plenty of time to explore other things. But what we're now going to do is we're going to look at these buttons. I'm not going to explain in detail all these buttons right now, but I'm going to point out a few of them with you. So I'll go to the next slide. First, what you need to do is you need to get access to more functionality. And for that, you need to sign in. This is the point where you need this, this working email address. The steps are quite easy. You see these, this is a list of 6 steps. On the left, you'll see written down the list of the 6 steps. On the right, you'll see parts of pop-up windows, pop-up messages where you need to click. So first, on the bottom of your screen and on the right, you can see a button with 3 circles. If I go to my room, you'll see it's down here, all to the right bottom. There's this button with 3 bullets. If you click on that button, you'll see a pop-up. I'll actually do that. So I'll click on this button and you'll see that here on the right, I get a list, a menu of things I can do. I'm already signed in, so I see the option sign out, but you will see the option sign in. Like it is shown here, you'll see sign in. If you click sign in, there's again a pop-up. I can't demonstrate it because I'm already signed in. But if you sign in, you'll see this pop-up. And there you need to specify in that field a working email address. Now, if you have filled out a working email address and you click next, you have to look for that email message that Mozilla Hubs will have send you. It's usually immediately, and usually it doesn't end up in your spam folder. So again, I'm going to talk slowly. Take more time for you to look at this confirmation message that you have received from Mozilla Hubs. If you have received the confirmation message, then click on the URL that is displayed in that message, and probably a browser page will open up saying that Mozilla Hubs is checking your email and is actually granting your access to Mozilla Hubs and signing you in. And you'll see a button or you'll see a pop-up that says you're now signed in. For those of you that did do this already, you're in the clear and you can go back to your room and just play around, navigate through the room, see what you can find. Actually, it's a large room. There's quite some things to see. You have the main hall. On the right, you have this small room where you can see these things. Actually, this is a fun thing to do. You see, this is a board with the fox and the duck. And what you can do is you can actually move around and stand behind this board and look through these holes. Of course, when you're on your own, it's not fun. But if you are with multiple avatars in this room, somebody can actually take a picture of you, a selfie of you. I'm not going to, I probably would be able to take a selfie of me, but I'm not going to experiment right now. I'm leading this webinar, so I can't play too much. But just navigate around and see if you can do some stuff. Okay, this should be working for you guys. Signing in. This is the avatar part. I assume that you have already done this. You can still change your avatar. I expect most of you will have done this at the start. But okay, you can use these steps to change the name of the avatar and the avatar itself. I'm quickly going over this slide. I want to take more time for this one. Redecorate. Now you all have the same room. You all have this big conference hall. And it's quite easy to change the scene of your room, of your Mozilla Hubs room. So again, the principle is on the left, you'll see the list of things you can do, the list of items that you have to follow. And on the right, you'll see images with the same numbers, giving you some more direction. So first, click on more. You know this button already. It's on the bottom right. It's a circle with 3 dots inside. Click on that. You'll see a pop-up. The pop-up that you've seen already, where you needed to sign in. Now on that list, go downwards until you see a title, room, and room info and settings. So if I do that, I click on more, and I have this topic room, and I can change the room info and settings. And you'll see this this menu on the right. Currently, this is my room. Upbeat, accurate turf. The scene is the gathering hall. It's called by Hubs team, and I can change scene. Click that button, change scene. If you click that button, you'll see a I didn't show it, but you'll see a catalog. Now this catalog is kind of a weird catalog. Yes.
Sorry for interrupting. Now I think I get lost.
Okay.
From where you came to this place.
Okay, no worries. So I'm currently here in the redecorate, and I've clicked. So the sequence of actions is I click on more, and then I'll go for room info and settings, and then I'll change the scene. So these are the 3 steps I'll need to do. So in my room, I'll hide this one. First click on
okay, thanks.
More, and then room info and settings, and then change scene. Now what I wanted to say about this catalog is it's kind of a weird catalog. You don't get access to all the rooms, and you can't browse through all the rooms. You have to search for some rooms. So what you see right now is just a featured list, and you can pick whatever room you want from here. But let's say you want to search for a specific room, and I've given some examples like forest and underwater and gallery, but of course you can use different kind of things, like let's see if there is something that refers to coffee. You'll see these 2 rooms which are not inspiring to me, so coffee is not a good search. If you type underwater, this is much more interesting. The first 2, for example, are the underwater classroom, which is actually a really nice room. So you can use that. You can also use, let's say, forest. See if you can find a forest. Lots of things to find. Is there something that? Voilà, there is a room made by Piotr Namotia del Azuer Daimiel, Spain. Let's see if we can find something related to Finland. Not yet. Nothing related to Finland. No worries. So take whatever room you wish. For instance, I like this one a lot. And if you've chosen a room, you'll actually see that your room, your Mozilla Hubs room, is immediately redecorated. So the address is still the same. Nothing has changed. Only the scenery has changed. Actually, what you have done, you have redecorated your home. You have changed it, the wall paintings, the mirrors, the doors, everything has changed, but it's still the same address. That simple. Okay. This is another fun thing to do. Since you're in a virtual space, the purpose of the virtual space is that you can actually do some things with it. One of the nice things is that you can actually write. So for the writing part, we'll use a different button. Not the more button on the right, but you'll see a bar with a series of buttons in the middle of the screen on the bottom. And there is a button called Place. If you press Place, you get a submenu, and on the submenu you will find a button called Pen. And as soon as you have activated that, you'll see that you'll actually be carrying around a pen. So I'm going to position myself in front of a wall like this one. I'll press on the Place button, so you'll see that on the bottom of my screen I have this series of buttons, and in the middle there's the green button, Place. I get to see the submenu, and the left top button is called Pen. Now at this point you'll see that the floating dot is targeted by a laser beam. In my case, it's a pink laser beam. I presume that in your case, it's also a pink laser beam. You can change the color of the beam, and you can change the color of your pen, but that doesn't matter at the moment. And as soon as you press the left key on your mouse, you can actually write on the wall. Voila. Graffiti. Congratulations, you have now created your first object. If you want to deactivate the pen, just click on Place again, and you'll see that the pen button, you'll see that it's activated. If you click it again, it gets deactivated. And if you then look around, you'll see that the writing is actually quite near to the wall. It's not exactly on top of the wall, but it's really near the wall. In time, I hope that you get access to a 3D headset, and if you're using a 3D headset, you can actually start coloring in the air around you, and actually you can color a full sphere and then stand inside that sphere. It's kind of a weird experience. You can actually draw 3D objects in the room, but only if you only have a 3D headset. Okay, back to the presentation. So that's about the graffiti. Now I asked you to come up with an image or a PDF. It doesn't matter that much. I used an image, and to import an image in your space, the action is quite simple. Again, you press the place button, the green button in the middle bottom, and you click upload. Now, if you've clicked the upload button, you'll actually see that there is this pop-up that asks you to browse for a file. Use that browse to serve to locate the image that you have selected. And if you do that, you'll actually import an object into your space. Now, I'm going to quickly browse and see where I have some nice images. And I'll actually place an image. So in your room, press place, press upload, and then see if I can find something nice. And this is the image I created. It's actually an image of my dog when she was young. And you see, I can move it around. I can position it. You might notice that in the background, you'll see this blue frame, and I can actually bring this image into this media frame, like so, and it's now a poster on the wall. You might not have this media frame in your room. That's not that important. Voilà, this is my image. You can walk towards it. You can take it. Holding the left mouse button is the way that you grab this object, and then when you move around, still holding the left button of your mouse, you'll see that this image moves around in 3D space. You can do more with that. I'll go back to the slides. So you can reposition the object by holding the left mouse key. So position the pointing dot or the floating dot on top of the object, on top of the image. Press and hold the left mouse key and then navigate around using the cursor keys. You can also rotate and enlarge. You'll see those actions when you press spacebar. So locate your pointing dot on top of the object and then press spacebar. So this is my object. Let's move around the tree. So this is the object. I'm holding it. Position my avatar in front of it. Now my pointing dot is on top of the image. You see that the image is flashing blue, so it is selected. When I press the space bar, you'll see these options. These options are quite important. Okay, this is the bucket, so I can throw away the object. The magnifying glass means that I can actually look at the object in detail. I'm having it here in my hand, in my avatar's hand. I can close that one. At the moment, that button is not so important, but it's more important if you do a presentation. Left is rotating. Be careful when you rotate this. The rotation listens very careful to your mouse, and at some point, it's quite hard to actually position your object in a nice way. See, she's now completely upside down. So it's really hard to figure out how it's functioning. I noticed that making small circles helps you to position or rotate an image in a good way. The other button here, this one, helps you to enlarge. So you keep on pressing the space bar and you keep pressed in the left mouse key, and with that you can actually position or enlarge your image. Now, while doing that, you might have experienced that, like what happens here, your image gets stuck into the walls or into the floor. You might be able to lose an object. If so, that's not a big deal. You can retrieve it or you can delete it, and you can take it back in your hands, in your virtual hands, and reposition it. See, it's behind that wall now. You have to get acquainted with these functionality. One important thing is if you press the space bar while selecting the image, you have this pin button here on top. Now the pin button is quite important because if you leave objects not pinned in the room, the moment that you have that you leave the room, all these unpinned objects will disappear. It's automatic cleaning, which is quite handy in sometimes. But sometimes you want to leave things inside your room. Now, if you do pin the objects, like this object is now pinned, and the option says unpin, it's because this object is pinned. You can actually not grab it anymore. See, I'm trying to grab it, holding my left mouse key, and it's fixed, it's pinned, and it actually stays here until I leave the room. Now I want you to do something else. So I've talked about these things: reposition the object and automatic cleanup. What I want you to try is if you can position an image quite near to a wall, like I did in this instance. If you're not succeeding in doing that, that's okay. You can just do it quick and dirty. And maybe considering the time, I'm looking for the time. It's not an exercise we'll do in this webinar, so I'll skip that. And just briefly, because I see that we have still 7 minutes left, I'll quickly show the next slides. The next slides are a repetition of bringing in objects. I've asked you to look up a nice video on YouTube where you can actually bring in that video in your room as an object. And the things to do is just the same as what you did before. So I'm going back to that slide. So this slide, so place and upload. If you place and upload, you'll see a pop-up that says custom object. And in this field, you can actually copy a file, so the address of a file on your local computer, but you can also share there a URL. So if the URL points to a video on YouTube, you'll actually import and create an object that is a video viewer, and the video that will be viewed is the one that you selected on YouTube. That's this one. And the same with models. You can place, and instead of place any kind of object, so if you press place, instead of upload, you choose 3D model, and then you'll see a catalog with 3D models. And again, you can search for specific 3D models, and you'll see the same functionality. So the object gets created, it will spawn in your virtual room, and with the same functionality, so pointing your floating dot or selecting dot on top of the object, and then press spacebar, you'll see the same functionality to rotate the object or to enlarge it. And of course, you can reposition it all the time. And you can also pin it. Okay. This is a nice exercise. I'm not sure if we still have time to do that. It's going to be 5 minutes. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Well, I think we can. Let me show you this slide. So you have all your room and your URL to your room. I hope you have bookmarked it or copied it somewhere. What I invite you to do is to spend the last minutes with me, see if this works, to spend the last minutes with me in our space. Daniel has created the space for us, and this is the address. So I can't share this with you over the chat because I guess the chat is not functional. You will not be able to see the chat. If you do, I'm not going to take the chat. So just type this URL somewhere in the browser. I'll do that also. So the address to this room is capital W 6, small caps H, caps L, caps R, 2 and a small q. If you go there, and I'll go there as well, you'll actually end up in our room in Mozilla Hubs. And what I'll do is I'll make this.
Maybe here you can copy and paste it in the Q&A section.
Okay. I'll copy and paste it in the Q&A. So for those not yet in the room, I've pasted it in the Q&A. And actually, let's see if I can. That is Celia. Celia is already there.
I saw my college Alvaro.
So I'm now sharing 2 screens, and I can see that some of you have already entered this room. Now, what I suggest you to do inside this room, for those not able to follow me, what I wanted to do is this. So, for instance, I have a URL to a space, to a room. I'll quickly grab something that is nice.
I guess you should turn off microphone from.
Yes.
From Teams. Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm not my mic is disactivated in Mozilla Hubs, but it's still activated in Teams. Otherwise, the recording would be weird. Let's find a nice room. Well, I have a nice room. Now what I want you to do is you can create a link to your room. Let's do that. You'll see that there is a chat button on the bottom. There is a chat button. And if you click on that button, you'll see a chat screen on the right. In that chat screen on the right, you can copy and paste. Well, actually, you can paste the link to your room. So you have your room. Paste the link to your room, and then press on the magic wand. If you press on the magic wand, an object will be created. And just leave that object hanging in the air and pin it. So at this point, what you can do is share your room with all the others in this room, and we can actually visit you. So for those not able to stay on because it's 1 o'clock, and I would suggest for those able to keep on doing this for 10 minutes, we can actually go ahead to all these different rooms and maybe join each other, just briefly playing in these other rooms and see what scenery, what scenes the other have used. So I'm going to shut up now, keep silent for a few minutes, and I'll leave you to it. If you have lost your way, you can always click on the link that is in Teams. So you'll always go back to this common room. The link is on Teams. I'll leave you to play a little bit. See you in a minute.
Hi.
Voy. Es lo que te digo, pero ahora, por ejemplo, yo estoy cerca tuya, tú me estás escuchando, pero si me voy lejos, mira, me voy lejos. Mira, ¿me estás escuchando ahora más lejos?
Back there.
Hola, 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 hola.
Celia is testing the sound settings. Celia, you have spatial sound in Mozilla Hubs.
Oh, really?
Yes, if you rotate and talk, or if you listen to me, you'll notice that if you change your viewing point, if you look away from me or towards me, you'll notice that sound will actually arrive differently in your left ear or right ear. I think Alvaro is testing this.
That's what I was telling to Alvaro.
Hi, Ada.
I having some troubles with the room because I didn't do mine, but then I accidentally, oh my God, I go into the room and I didn't know how to get out.
You can always use the link in Teams.
Yes, that's what I did.
Okay. So we're now 1:04. I would say if there are still any questions or comments, obviously I didn't manage to make it more briefly in allowing us to talk about other interesting stuff. But for now, let's see how this goes. So any questions or comments? My suggestion would be that you keep the URL to your room and use it to practice, use it to show this to, you can share the link to your room with others, and they can visit your room from any kind of device, even from a cell phone. If you have a decent cell phone, you can navigate in your room through the cell phone. So on PC or on a tablet or on a phone. Just share your room with others, invite them in, and play a little bit with Mozilla Hub. See what you can find. Yes, Alvaro. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being present.
Bye. Thank you very much.
So if you want to leave, say hi. Thank you for attending this workshop. I hope it was interesting for you, and let's keep in contact. If you have questions or remarks, you can find us through the web shop. You can find us also here. If you leave questions here, we might pick it up or send us an email or talk with your lecturer in your institute if you have questions or comments.
Thanks so much. This was interesting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Celia. I assume that was Celia. Was it Celia?
No,
Okay.
Thank you.
it was
Thank you. Bye.
Kirsty.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Enjoy
Bye.
your day. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Laura.
Bye.
Ada is still there. Okay, Ada.
Thank you. Bye.
You're having fun? You have a really nice avatar. And
Yes, that's interesting.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay, Ada. Take care for today. Have fun.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. For those still present, I'll see if I can stop the recording. I think we have enough. Full recording has stopped.